I am now 2 days out from my next race. It is the Dubai Marathon on Sunday. I am not doing the full distance, but I'm taking part in the 10k race that is happening also as part of the event. So I've been tapering this week. I'm definitely not training as much as I've been for the past few weeks. I've only done one speed session this week instead of two, and it was my usual taper style session, 2 by 5 minute tempo, 4 by 2 minutes at 10k effort, 4 by 30 second pickups. And today I've just finished my easy run, easy hour, when usually on the Friday I have a session. This week I had a rest day. Yesterday I did not run, and it was the first day I was not running since the morning we landed in Dubai on the 20th of December. So yeah, I think I was due a day off. Also had a sports massage yesterday at home. It was very interesting, a very different technique. I got stretched like all kind of ways, but I guess the legs needed it. And what else? Oh, and I've got my race number already. I went last night to pick up my race number. I wasn't really sure what to expect because it's the Dubai Marathon. I thought maybe it was going to be some kind of expo, but no, there were like no brands, you know, like nothing like that. It was just on the ground floor of a convention center. Just scan your QR code, pick up your number, in and out in 2 minutes, when it took me over an hour round trip to get there and back, only for 2 minutes inside the thing. But hey, got the number now. Okay, so my run today was an easy 40 minutes. I also did some strides afterwards. That is my last run before the race tomorrow, and also last run of the month because it is the 31st of January. So total running distance for this month, 421.3 kilometers. I would say not bad. It's gonna be up there in one of my biggest months. That might be my third or fourth. That is my third biggest month to date. So quite a decent start to the year training wise. So I have been looking at the course for tomorrow, which I hadn't quite done before. I'll put the course map on the screen for you. Basically, it is pretty much an out and back along the beach. I would expect it to be flat. There are definitely some elite runners taking part in the 10K. I was looking at last year's result to get a bit of a gauge. It was won in 28:20, like that is a really fast time. And then for the women, it was won in 31:03. And actually, Eilish McColgan took part and she was third in 31:14. So you have elite runners taking part, but you don't have that many of them. And it drops off a cliff quite quickly in the rankings. So if you look at the woman who finished in 10th position last year, who was actually French, her finish time was 39:07. So there's a big disparity, you know, within the top 10 already. I highly doubt I'm going to find myself running in a pack all the way. So that might be the tricky bit. I also have no idea what I can do tomorrow. Like, I would be unable to predict what I can do. The training has been going well. I don't really know if I can string together 10Ks back to back at around my PB pace right now. That's just, I have no idea. But if I'm on a good day, there is a chance that I can finish inside the top 10. Now the key event tomorrow is the marathon. The marathon runners will start first at 6 in the morning, and then the 10K runners, it's 2 hours later, we start at 8. I'm actually a bit nervous about the logistics tomorrow in terms of getting myself to the race because with more marathon runners than 10K runners, I assume, all the parking spots in the area will have been taken by the marathon runners arriving earlier, and some roads will be blocked because the race will be underway. So I think tomorrow Uber is going to be the way to go to avoid any parking stress and just be dropped off as close as possible to the start. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. I'm genuinely curious to see what I can do tomorrow. Right, almost ready to go. All I've got left to do is put my shoes on. I'm going with the Puma Faster 3s today. Of course, Ben has just got back from his run. He did it super early so he could come with me to support, spectate and help me film. Although with the nature of the course, he's only going to be able to film the start and the finish really. And I'm going to have my camera with me and I'll try to film a few clips. Hopefully I can get a little something. And yeah, let's roll.
Well done. There's our two winners then.
Hey, one more, raise her up!
Lady going across the line as well. Congratulations. Well done. 1117. Well done.
That's the Dubai 10K complete, and this year was actually the 25th edition of the marathon. So, bit of a recap. I will note for next year that we didn't need to be dropped off this far from the start. I followed kind of like the race instructions. It seemed that the way to access the start was from the metro station of the Mall of the Emirates. Like you would go basically in the bridge of the metro station and then you would make your way to the start. It would have been fine to drive all the way to the Dubai Police Academy, which was basically the race village and the finish line, considering that from there was still a long way to get to the actual start line of the 10K, so there was a lot of steps already before I even started the race. And Ben did not get to see the start of the 10K because it was a bit confusing whether or not spectators were allowed to go into that area. So I didn't want him to try and come with me to the start line because I didn't want him to have any trouble maybe exiting the area and then going back to the finish line. Turns out would have been fine. There were spectators around there, but you know, another thing that I will know for next year. That was a bit chaotic, but could have been worse. Now, I think really the only thing that this event is missing is more fast runners, because having done fast races like the Valencia 10K, for instance, I can honestly say that this Dubai 10K course is on par with Valencia 10K. It is flat, big, wide, open roads, super smooth tarmac. At this time of the year, it is not too warm, basically the same temperature as you would have at the Valencia 10K. You're just missing more fast runners because this morning, if you were a sub 40-minute 10K runner, you would not be in a pack for very long. You would pretty much run solo all the way. It would be a 10K time trial. And yeah, that was my case basically. I was pretty much solo all the way. You know, there were one or two runners more or less around me, but it's not like we were in a pack working together. So that was the hardest bit, because when you're running at that pace in the 340s, you know, it feels better when you've got a pack to work with, let's be honest. Now there was quite good support. There was especially kind of like a cheer zone in the second half. At this point, I really needed it, so that was really nice. And also because it was an out and back, at some point you do see the other runners that are running the opposite way to you. And I did get some cheers and encouragements from the runners running the opposite way, so that was quite nice. Really, what this race is missing is just more runners. So if you fancy a nice 10K race and a lovely sunny holiday in Dubai in January, get yourselves over here and enter the Dubai 10K. Now, I don't have the details and I'm slightly confused because the results keep changing, but apparently the elite runners got sent the wrong way, so they never crossed the actual finish line. And when I was running, a spectator told me I was third woman. And I thought, well, he must mean third non-elite woman, right? And then when I passed a woman, a spectator told me, you're in second position. When I crossed the finish line, the announcer was like, and here comes our second woman. And I'm like, again, weird, but okay. And that's when I found out that, yeah, apparently the elite pack never crossed the actual finish line. And then when I downloaded my result certificate just after the race, it did say that I was second lady. And then when I got back home, I refreshed the page. This time, somehow they had managed to find the finish time for the actual elite runners, and my ranking had dropped to 6th. And I've just refreshed it now. And now I'm back on being in second position, and my chip time has changed. It was 37:05 and now it is 37:07. I hope they're gonna find a solution to give these elite runners an official result, because I shouldn't really be second in the overall ranking. And I'm super pleased with 37:07. And I didn't even know whether or not I could run a 37-minute 10K. So to finish 37:07, just a few seconds off my PB. I'm super pleased with that. And back to those elite runners, actually. Ben filmed the first man crossing the finish line. Well, technically first man, but he actually didn't want to break the tape. He ran around it because he knew that he shouldn't have been the one, crossing the line first. So something definitely happened. Don't know what. Anyway, I had a brilliant morning. I'm super happy with my result. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you ran the Dubai Marathon or the 10K, congratulations. I hope you had a good race. Please hit the subscribe button if you've not subscribed to my channel already. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!